Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to show you something today. What is basically it's an HPE. It's a 3par 8440, and this one is to show you how it's being taken out. First of all, if you do want it to take it out, you would have all the cables. You want to make sure, obviously, you want to mark all the cables before you take them out. And this is the one that you pull out. When you pull this one out, basically this is what you are triggering. Let me see. Triggering this system. So when you move this thing like that, you see, that's what you're moving basically. Let me bring the camera more down to show what I'm talking about. Okay. So let me see, bring it down, 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 down. Here we go. Okay. Let me see a little bit further. All right. So when I brought this thing down, I mean, when I took this one out, I made sure everything is marked up. So the next thing is, once you take it out, is you want to make sure, see these two screws, one here, one here. You just unscrew it. And once it's being unscrewed, you just take this one off. And this is it. So I want to show you what couple of things, what you need to do. So obviously, you don't want to take this device out, the controller, unless you're 100% sure. And obviously, someone else will be working with you and making sure that this will be taken down. Because if you take the wrong one, you could bring the whole system down. So you want to make sure. Now, a couple of things you need to keep in mind. Now, you do have the M2 SSD card right here, as well as this one. The card, you need to take this one out, as well as that one. And the best way is obviously get a screwdriver, and we're just going to take it out by unscrewing it. It's teeny tiny. And here we go. All right, and I'll put the screw here. This one here, it's only held up by a blue button. You see it? The reason they have two, because in this particular one, we only have what it's called 2 fiber. Sometimes it could be 4 fiber cards. Okay, so all you need to do in this case, first of all, you want to make sure you take the fiber out. All right, because you're not going to be able to take it out. We're going to take that fiber out. You see it on both sides. And let me take this thing off. Okay, here we go. And I take them out. Once they are being taken out, now this will be a lot easier. I know if you look carefully here, you do see like two like a hex key. They are not for the card. These things, if you want to take this thing off, which got nothing to do with that, so keep that in mind. Okay, so the only way to get this one off or out is by pressing this blue button, and you could remove it. And here we go. Once you've done that, you pull also with this one. So basically, let me show you what I mean. So I am going to be pushing this one out to release it. Once it's being released, okay, so once this is being released, if it's 4 fiber, it will be both of these. You release this thing and you pull this one out. And once it's being pulled out, and this is how it comes off. You see it? And now it comes off. Now those two, this thing, this card, okay, this one and that one, you need to be removed and transferred onto the new controller after it's being configured. So we put this thing on the side. Now these are where the rest of the memory, you got one here, one there, one there, one here. I got the static bag right here, and you've got to put it back in the bag because it's very important to make sure it goes back where it was. Hey, my cat is here, guys. My cat is always hanging out by me. Hi, kitty, kitty. All right. Stay right here. All right. So that's how it's being done now. All right. So now I want to put the other thing back on. So I'm gonna just put this in here. There's this SD card. You put the screw back in, and you push this card back in again. Now, when you put this back, I want to show you a little trick. You see this in here? There's a little bit notches here, here, one here, because basically they go back right there. Let me show you. I don't know if you could guys see it or not, but here, you see these things? They need to be held on here. See, it's like it look like a screw, but it's not. So when you put the card back in, you put it like this, you line it up. Okay, and once it's being lined up, you press, before you press it, you want to make sure you line up these things also in the PCI card. Okay, you see it, the PCI right here? You want to line it up. Once it's being lined up, then you push firmly on it. I want to make sure because I'm trying to show you the camera. Okay, so once it's being firmly confirmed, it's in the PCI, then you push it down till it clicks. You see it? Now it's all good, because what happens is if you push it without it being lined up, this is going to break. And if it breaks, you really don't want to go through this thing. First of all, it's expensive, number one. Number two, there's no way you could get this card in 1, 2, 3 and you have a problem on hand. So make sure you line it up before you press it down firmly. Take your time. I know sometimes you may feel like you're being rushed. This is not something to be rushed. You have to take your time, because if this thing goes down, the whole system goes down. And I know I keep saying that over and over and over again, because that's what the guy was telling me. If you break it or you take the wrong thing out, we're in big trouble. So take your sweet time. I said, okay, I sure will. That's why I'm saying over and over again. Okay, so now here, this is where the CMOS battery, and this is where the heatsink, obviously. This is where the rest of the memory. And wait, right here, I want to show you. Yep. Okay, here's the rest of the memory, right? There's 1, 2, 3, and there's 4 right here. So these are 32 gig. And the way to take one each out by pressing on both ends, and you take the card out. So this is, as I have said, this is a 32 gig. And I'm just going to put it back right where it was. I'm just basically showing you how it's being done. I mean, I'm taking the time to show you it. So since it's already open, I'll be glad to do it. So now I want to take the other one out because it's a little bit different. And this one happened to be 16. So these are the one next to the CPU. It's a 32 gig, whereas the other one by the south bridge, you may want to call it the south bridge. You know why? Because it's away from the CPU. You know, if you think of a computer, you remember you have the northbound, the north bridge and the south bridge. So this is how you know, or you could be able to tell which is which in case someone asks you. That's the best way to know. All right. Now, on the other hand, what do we have? We have here those two fiber, or the SFPs. I did not have to take them out. Why? Because I no longer need to take this one out. It's not needed. So the rest of the cables, as I said earlier, you want to make sure you mark them down. If they are not marked up, you may not be able to have an idea how to put them back. And if you do not know how to put them back, it's going to take you time. And then not only take you time, you may put it in the wrong port. And if you put it in the wrong port and you start up the system, it's not going to detect it, or it may have a conflict. On the other hand, this cover for the controller, as you can see right here, says controller node component. And this is really nice. If you're really not sure or really need to know which is which, you could read each component on the back of the cover. That tells you. It may not tell you the exact part number. That's not something that's going to be told here. You may have to take each part and take a picture. And that's one thing I usually do. I always love to take pictures and videos. Why? Because if in case I'm not sure how to put things back, or in case it's broken, or in case someone tells me I broke it, I have an evidence or proof that I did not break. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is my end time of my live streaming. So if you have any questions, comments, please don't hesitate to leave me a comment. And other than that, you guys have a nice, lovely day. Thank you. All right.